Ever feel like you're getting too old for this shit? Yeah, that's pretty much how I feel every single day. Today is my birthday. I have just completed my 55th year. As an intense introvert, I shudder at the thought of a big celebration with tons of fanfare. Instead, I did something personal that no one knew about, not even my family. I challenged myself to 55 goals to be completed within the year. I wanted to bag 55 ski days, most of them backcountry skiing, 55 scrambles and hikes, most of them involving a major peak or summit, and publish 55 trip reports on my blog. Of all my mountain adventures, backcountry skiing is truly my favorite. It is the one mountain sport that I aspire to be good at. It's also the one sport that I persevere and suffer for the most. It is the most difficult and the most challenging. The gear is heavy and I have to carry a lot of it. Dragging around big boots, skis, and skins takes effort. Climbing 1,500 meters in the summer is a long day. That same 1,500 meter day in the winter backcountry skiing just about wipes me out. The conditions are also more challenging. I have to track the weather and the various layers in the snowpack throughout the year. I am constantly reading avalanche reports and endless mins. When out on the mountain, I am always evaluating the snowpack, seeing if it matches what I have read. Backcountry skiing is not mindless walking uphill. It is work and it is, frankly, exhausting. Which is why I am the most proud of getting not 55 backcountry ski days, but a whopping 64 days. So what keeps me going? Well, when I turned 40, I was seriously wondering if I was too old to take up backcountry skiing. I was raising young twin girls and running my business. I honestly didn't know if I had it in me. That's when I read an article written by the amazing guide Helen Sovdat. She was struggling with the same issue. Am I too old for this shit? For a variety of reasons, she decided to keep going. Helen was older than me and doing way harder stuff. I was so inspired that I decided to just keep going. Later that winter, I was skiing up at the Bow Hut when I actually got to meet Helen. And I found a quiet moment to tell her how much she had inspired me. I learned firsthand that it's important for women to see other women not only doing the hard stuff, but admitting that it's hard. It's not all fun and IG shots. Doing what I love takes time, effort, pain, and suffering. But guess what? If I can do it, so can you. In the summer, scrambling and mountaineering take up most of my time. However, I also love to cycle and kayak. For my goal of 55 peaks, I only managed to bag 47. And I know I fell short, but I had some issues. First, 3 trees fell in our family condo during a major windstorm, and I spent most of the spring and summer doing repairs. And second, Deb and I were training for a major cycling event in late June. Unfortunately, Deb found out her dad was diagnosed with cancer just days before the event, and we decided to cancel. Her dad fought hard, but passed later that summer. While accomplishing mountain goals is fun, family and friends are most important. If given a choice, I will always choose family and friends over a day in the mountains. My final goal was to publish 55 trip reports on my website. Now, this was always an unrealistic goal, but I did manage to pump out 23 reports and do several videos. Considering it takes me about 3 times as long to write a trip report than it does to actually do the route, this is still a major accomplishment. But I was not completely idle. I wrote a book called Worry Like a Professional: How to Solve Problems Before They Spiral. Worry is a natural emotion that we all deal with. Being told to stop worrying or that worry is bad, really it's not useful or productive. Instead, I teach how to harness the power of worry and then find and implement solutions. Worry's here to help you if you let it. My buddy Deb was my editor-in-chief, and she worked through all the exercises as she read them. We all need a Deb in our lives. My next challenge is to figure out how to get this book published. Any ideas? Please let me know. So why are my mountain adventures harder than they used to be? Why do I feel like I am sometimes just plain too old for this shit? It's because women have issues that men simply don't. I'm not gonna lie, menopause has kicked the living daylights out of me. The hot flashes are so intense, my scrambling partners can literally see the sweat pouring off my face. I am left physically exhausted and shaky, but I still have to dig deep to finish climbing that mountain. While mountaineering, I've had such intense hot flashes on the sun-baked glacier that I packed handfuls of snow down my bra, yet I didn't feel the cold against my skin. I had severe night sweats that soaked my sleeping bag. I would get changed into whatever dry top I could find and then shiver in my bag until I finally fell asleep, only to wake up 2 hours later and do it all over again. For years I didn't sleep through the night, but I still got up each morning and climbed a major mountaineering objective. I gained weight, I lost muscle mass, I slowed down. Menopause bites. So no, doing what I love is not easy for me. It has taken hard work and determination to keep going. Having intense menopause symptoms is dangerous. It leaves me weak and vulnerable on the trail, and it deprives me of the sleep I need to function safely. I needed to make a decision. I could give in to the menopause and cut back on my mountain objectives, or I could go on HRT. And frankly, I couldn't imagine giving up on my beloved mountains and everything about them that makes me feel good about myself and my life. While HRT is not a magic bullet, it has allowed me to simply keep going. People admire the 75-year-old guy who is still out there going strong. And you know what? That's fantastic. But he didn't create a whole new human from his own body or lose 90% of his hormones that he's relied on his whole life. Instead, show me that 60-year-old woman who is still out there giving it her all. And that's real strength of mind, body, and spirit. You don't have to go as hard as me or do the same sports as me. All that I ask is that you just keep going. Do whatever it takes to not give up or give in. Luckily for me, I have many women in my life who are older than me and are still going strong. I greatly admire these women. And you know what? We talk about this all the time. Lynn goes to the climbing gym twice a week all year so she can maintain an outdoor climbing grade of 5'9". Gabrielle does a morning exercise routine that keeps her fit and healthy so she can keep skiing and mountaineering all year. Deb indoor cycles all winter so she is ready to go once the snow melts. We are all doing our best. The one thing I don't talk a lot about are my travels, especially those outside of Canada. While these trips definitely help me get my numbers up, like backcountry skiing in Japan or doing a 13-day mountain traverse in the Italian Dolomites, the reality is Canada offers everything that I have found abroad. I could still get in all my routes right here in my own backyard. What traveling does for me is it helps to stretch my mind. Figuring out bus and subway schedules in another language is a challenge. Observing the many customs in Japan, including how to eat sushi or navigate onsen, is a challenge. Driving the Scottish Highland roads, which are really just paved paths only wide enough for one car, is intense. This alone took incredible concentration and driving skills. I sometimes felt like a rally driver with my navigator Aaron giving me directions at every turn. Honestly, what an opportunity and what a thrill. Now, I don't travel every year simply because I love Canada. Knowing I will never see it all is a bit depressing. This year, I did 11 major trips. 6 were international, 3 were at Canadian mountain ski lodges, and 2 were my main summer objectives of the Brazos Loop backpack and the Hatteras Range mountaineering camp. I fully realize that travel is a privilege. I grew up with zero money and never thought I would fly anywhere. I am lucky enough to be able to structure my life so I can travel. I don't spend much every day, so I can splurge a little bit on a trip. And I have to say, having a travel benefit pilot for a husband really, really helps. If you can travel in Canada, do it. If you can travel abroad, go for it. Today, I turn 56 years old. Today, I am starting on a 3-day glacier ski traverse. I've also booked an extra night at the hut and will try and bag a peak or 2 while I'm out there. Next month, I am doing a major 7-day glacier ski traverse. I've had the poster for this traverse hanging in my house for about 15 years. So am I letting my age stop me? Am I too old for this shit? So far, the answer to both is no. Happy adventuring, my friends. Just keep going.